She's out do Easter with her when I get home. Very difficult to be married to people like that because they're much too talented. You know, it's not, you can't do a domestic thing with somebody like Peter Cook. Anyway, he had his lovely club, the Establishment, where we used to spend most of our time. And people like Lenny Bruce, you know, would come and do a gig, and all these amazing people. And down in the basement there was Dudley Moore playing his music. You know about Dudley Moore? You know Dudley Moore. Yeah, you know Dudley Moore. Then he became an actor. But in those days he was, and one time, and he was my mate, you see, this was, you know, and one time he said, you know what I want to do? He said, I want to play such dirty blues, you know, and then they'll all be writhing on the floor and I'll walk out over the top of them. That was his fantasy. I mean, you know, mad, just completely mad. And then the Beatles. So the Beatles used to come into the Establishment. And then Wendy and Peter had a wonderful house up in Hampstead, and then there was this big party. And then we were all upstairs drinking away. And then Wendy said, John Lennon's down in the kitchen if you want to go and see him. Oh my God. So I went down into the kitchen, this beautiful, great big tiled kitchen with this table groaning with food and lovely things. And there was John Lennon gobbling up strawberries. So I said, hello. And he said, oh, well, the grown-ups are upstairs getting pissed. Let's you and I eat the strawberries. So we were. But actually there was somebody, he wanted to know, because I knew these people called the Alberts, and they were a very magic, eccentric pair of wonderful people, and they had a band, and they had a show then at the time called An Evening of British Rubbish. It was wonderful. And John had heard them playing their crazy music, and he wanted to know. He said, are they for real? And I said, yeah, they're true eccentrics, you know, they really do. They wear these extraordinary jackets from the Great War with all the buttons and the braids, and they are true eccentrics, and they are also brilliant musicians. He was blown away that I knew them, and then later on in Sgt. Pepper, when you hear them singing, and the band began to play, that he meant the Alberts. That's their claim to fame.